the Harvard Focus Protocol. Most students never learn. Why? Because a small group of students discover something most people never learn. A focus protocol, not motivation, not discipline, a system. And once you see how it works, you'll realize something uncomfortable. Most people have never actually focused in their life. Not really. I'm about to show you exactly what Harvard students learn about attention. And by the end of this video, you'll never study the same way again. Chapter 1. Attention bankruptcy. Most people think they have a focus problem. Wrong. They have an attention economy problem. Every notification, every scroll, every tab is a withdrawal. Your brain runs on a limited currency called cognitive attention, and you're broke. The average person checks their phone 96 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. Researchers at the University of California, Irvine discovered something brutal. After a single interruption, it takes 23 minutes to return to deep focus. 23. Now do the math. If your phone interrupts you every 10 minutes, you never actually return to focus. You just live in shallow thinking. Harvard students learn this quickly because the workload destroys anyone who studies the normal way. So they use something called focus compression. Cal Newport, who studied elite performers and later became a professor at Georgetown University, calls this deep work. Distraction-free cognitive effort, not half focus. Not studying while checking messages, real focus. But here's the problem though. Most people try deep work and fail in 3 days. Why? Because their brain is addicted to stimulation. Cheap dopamine, short videos, notifications, infinite novelty. Your brain expects entertainment every few seconds. And when it doesn't get it, it panics. So Harvard students start with something brutal. They remove stimulation, laptop closed, phone in another room, one book, one task, nothing else. At first, your brain screams. Boredom feels unbearable. But something strange happens after about 25 minutes. Your brain calms down. Thoughts slow. Ideas get deeper. Focus becomes effortless. Psychologists call this attentional restoration. Your brain was never broken. It was just overstimulated. But focus alone isn't enough. Because even if you eliminate distractions, most students still waste their focus on the wrong things. Which brings us to the second protocol. Chapter 2. Cognitive targeting. Most students read everything, highlight everything, take notes on everything, idiots. Your brain cannot encode everything. Working memory can hold roughly 7 pieces of information at once. This concept was discovered by cognitive psychologist George Miller. 7 items, that's it. So when you try to absorb an entire chapter at once, your brain collapses. Elite students don't try to remember everything. They hunt for leverage, the one idea that organizes the rest. In Harvard seminars, students are trained to ask one question while reading. What is the argument? Not the examples, not the stories, the argument. Once you find the central claim, the rest of the information becomes structure around it. This is called concept compression. The brain doesn't store details first. It stores frameworks. Medical training uses this constantly. A surgeon doesn't memorize 50 random symptoms. They memorize one pattern, one diagnosis. Harvard students apply the same trick to reading. Instead of highlighting pages of text, they write one sentence per chapter. Just one. If you can't summarize the idea in one sentence, you don't understand it. Simple. But here's the thing though. Even when students understand ideas, most of them still forget everything within a week, which leads to the third protocol. Chapter 3. The retrieval engine. Most students reread. They highlight. They review notes. Feels productive? Wrong. Psychologist Robert Bjork at UCLA calls this the illusion of competence. Recognition feels like memory, but it isn't. When you reread information, it feels familiar. Your brain thinks it knows it until someone asks you to explain it. And suddenly, nothing. Because memory is not created through exposure. It's created through retrieval. Pulling information out of your brain strengthens the neural pathway, like lifting a weight strengthens muscle. This principle appears in the book Make It Stick, written by learning scientists from Harvard and Washington University. Students who test themselves retain dramatically more information than those who reread, up to 50% more. Harvard students use this constantly. They close the book, then explain the concept out loud. If they can't explain it, they reopen the text, fill the gap, then repeat. Explain again. This creates something powerful, desirable difficulty. A term coined by Robert Bjork. When learning feels slightly hard, memory becomes stronger. Easy studying creates weak memory. Struggle creates permanent encoding. But here's the problem though. Even if you use retrieval practice, your brain still forgets information over time, which leads to the fourth protocol. Chapter 4. The forgetting algorithm. In 1885, a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered something terrifying. The forgetting curve. After learning something new, you lose most of it within days, sometimes hours. Your brain deletes information constantly, not because it's broken, because storage is expensive. Your brain only keeps what proves useful. So Harvard students use spaced repetition. Instead of reviewing information randomly, they review it at specific intervals, right before forgetting. First review, same day. Second review, 2 days later. Third review, 1 week later. Fourth review, 1 month later. Each retrieval strengthens the neural pathway. Eventually, the memory becomes permanent. Medical students often use software like Anki to automate this. Flashcards appear exactly when your brain is about to forget them. Not earlier, not later, right before deletion. Your brain interprets the struggle to recall as a survival signal. This matters. Keep it. But here's the thing though, even if you master focus and memory, there's still one problem most students never solve. Mental fatigue. Chapter 5. The focus cycle. Most people try to focus for hours. Their brain dies after 40 minutes. They assume they lack discipline. Wrong. Your brain runs in ultradian cycles, roughly 90-minute periods of high mental energy, followed by fatigue. This pattern was studied extensively by sleep researcher Nathaniel Kleitman. Elite performers work with these cycles, not against them. Harvard students often structure study sessions like this. 90 minutes deep focus. Then a break, not a scroll break, a real break. Walk, stretch, water. Then another 90 minutes. 2 cycles like this can produce more work than 6 hours of distracted studying. Because deep focus multiplies cognitive output. But here's the real secret. Most people think focus is about time. Wrong. Focus is about cognitive friction. The harder something feels to start, the less likely you are to begin. Harvard students reduce this friction using something simple. Preparation. They decide the next task before ending a study session. So when the next session begins, there is no decision. Just execution, no thinking, just start. Hit subscribe before you forget this. Because most people understand these systems and still never use them. Focus compression, concept targeting, retrieval practice, spaced repetition, focus cycles. These are not motivation tricks. They are cognitive operating systems. But here's the problem though. Even if you know all of this, your environment can still destroy your focus. Noise, notifications, digital chaos. Your brain cannot win against a bad environment. That's why I made another video breaking down the environment design system elite performers use to force deep focus automatically. Because once you fix that, learning faster becomes almost unfair. Watch that next, and your brain will never work the same way again.